Hi guys, this is Kate. This is just a quick how-to video to show you how to make the surgeon caps that I've asked you guys to make. Here's how it works. So step one, you're going to take your fabric. This is the fabric I'll use. This is 1 yard. This is the width of the fabric here, this piece. And this is the yardage here going this way. Okay, so step one, you're going to cut a strip off of the top of the fabric. I just fold it into quarters because it's easier for me to do this way. But you can do it however you'd like, however it works. I'm going to try to set the camera down. I hope it works. If it doesn't, just, bear with me. Okay, so then you're going to take your piece of fabric and you're going to cut a strip off of it. I'm going to do a little over an inch. This is 1.25 inches. And so you just line that up, kind of try to get it square, as square as you can, and then cut that strip off, okay? So that's step one. This is now going to be your hat band piece, okay? Okay. Step two, you're going to take your fabric, and I generally fold it kind of in this direction because your side band piece, that's this piece here, you cut it on the fold, and it's approximately, it's just a little over 11 inches, which happens to be, if you fold this in half, that's going to be half the width of a standard piece of fabric, okay? So I like to go just a little over halfway, get it all nice and smooth, lay your side band piece across this way on the fold. Now, I would encourage you to make it a really nice, tight, snug fit. The reason, because we're trying to get as many caps as we can out of the fabric, and this is one of these that just, for whatever reason, fits like just super, super close. Okay. So then you've got your band laid out. You cut, let's see, make sure you guys can see this. Okay, you're going to cut around the edge of the pattern piece. And sorry, my rotary cutter is a little dull, so I'm going over it and over it, which, obviously, if your rotary cutter is smoother than mine, that's a good thing. Okay, finishing up my last little bit of trimming here on this guy. Okay, so you have your side band piece. We're going to set that aside for right now, along with your band up here. And then you're going to take your hat piece. Now, so the way that I cut these when I'm cutting multiples is that I leave it stacked, folded like this, because you can cut two at once that way. But for this purpose, because I'm going to use this for additional side pieces right here, I'm going to go ahead and cut this band, this crown piece out of the top here, okay? Maybe I'll cut it this way. Snug there. Again, sorry, trying to make sure you guys can see this, but... Okay. And then again, cut around the edge of the pattern piece. Okay, and so those are the three basic pieces that you need to make this cap. Okay, so then now we're going to go over to the ironing board. Okay, so now we're over here at the ironing board. I think that what you should do when you're making these for real is to, you know, cut several masks at once, then do the ironing for several masks at once, and then do the sewing for several masks at once. But right now I'm just showing you how to get through the whole thing start to finish so that you'll get this in your mind. Okay, so this is our long skinny strip of fabric. This is just over 1 inch. And what we're doing is we're folding it in half, wrong sides together, and then we're going to iron it down the entire length of the fabric. So you'll just iron it, pull it and iron it. Etc. So you're going to do this all the way down the length of the strip. And this, you know, you want it to be, you know, you want it to look nice, but it doesn't have to be immaculately perfect because this is going to get sewn against the edge of your cap when it's done. Okay, so there is our nice long skinny piece done. Then I take the crown piece of the hat here, and I like to just give it a quick press this way. And then just for simplicity's sake, I like to fold it in half, right sides together, and then iron it to leave a crease right here so that it's easier to match up the band and the crown piece. Okay, so here's our crown piece ironed, and then our band piece. Again, give it a quick press if it's not still nice and pressed from before you started cutting. And then give it a nice sharp crease right here, okay? And then the other thing that you want to do is, because some of these edges are going to be open, essentially, they're not going to get sewn in later. So you're going to fold this over by just, you know, just a smidge, just you know, a quarter, half inch, somewhere in there. Just, it doesn't have to be perfect, just enough that when you can sew this down and it will be a finished edge. So you do that on both of these edges. And you can see I caught a little bit of the selvage side in there. It really doesn't matter. It's just fine. Okay, so that. And then, and you probably should have done this, sorry, my fault, before ironing that first crease, but you're going to do the same thing on this little bottom tag piece here, and just do it like this. Okay, so now we'll go over to the sewing machine. Okay, so step one, you're going to take your crown piece here that we have folded, that nice little crisp fold there, and then the band piece, the curve here, the curved edge, this is the top. Okay, so you're going to take your hat crown, or your cap crown here, and you're going to match your crease that you ironed in and your crease that you ironed in right here. Okay, and then you're going to go around and clip this guy together all the way around this edge. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the band up here, sitting up here at the top here, and I have it clipped all around the bottom edge here. Okay, now when you come to these ends, these are not going to be fully attached. As a matter of fact, you're just going to stop like right here. Okay, so this is going to be loose and open. All three of these little pieces that we folded here are going to be open. Okay, so step one with the sewing. So we've got this clipped. Okay, so step one, first thing you're going to do sewing wise is you're going to sew down this these little flaps that we ironed. Okay, so here we go. I do go ahead and backstitch because these will get used and worn a lot. And even though that seam is gonna probably get caught in the, when we do the band around the outside of the hat, it's still just a good idea to go ahead and reinforce that stitch there. So you're gonna do that for each of these little folds that we made. This is the bottom of the crown piece here. Again, back stitch. Okay, and then the last little piece here. Okay. Okay, so when you go to sew around the crown, you want this, I find it easiest if you have the balloon shape piece, the round piece on the bottom, and then these side pieces facing up. It just makes it a little easier when you're working your way around the edge of the crown. And so you start here, and you're going to try to maintain about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Again, back stitching at the beginning here. And, you know, you're probably experienced enough that you know how to sew curves like this, but, you know, as you start to get up around the front, or what will become the front of the hat, you're going to find that this, it's a really tight little corner here, so you're going to have to do some fussing with the fabric to get it to lay flat under the presser foot. However, you know, you don't have to be super perfect about it as long as it's attached, you know, reasonably well. It's really not a problem. Okay, so again, I'm just kind of carefully working my way around the crown of this hat here, taking off my little clips as I go along, trying to maintain my 1/4 inch. As long as the two pieces going under the needle are flat, then it doesn't really matter what the rest of it is doing or what the rest of it looks like. Okay, and then here I'm coming to the end, get that matched up. Back stitch, clip. Okay, and now we're going to attach the band. So with the band, what you're going to do is you're going to measure out, this is the long skinny piece, that's the band. We're going to measure out about 10 inches. It's about right here. And this, we're going to turn the hat right side out, okay? And then starting from the, with one of the flat edges, this flat edge here, you're going to match up the band at that 10-inch mark and the hat. Clip that, go ahead and clip that together. You don't really need to clip the rest of it because you're going to be able to adjust as you go along. And then here, what you're going to do is, what I like to do is I like to do a straight stitch first and then go back and zigzag along the edge to finish the edge of the fabric. However, if you have a serger, you can also use that, okay? So you start sewing here, again, back stitch here, and I'm sewing fairly close to the edge. You probably don't have to sew as close as I do. We're just sewing it closed, okay? Okay, and so all we're doing here as we go along is just matching the little band here to the edge of the brim, essentially, of the cap, okay? Okay, I'm coming to the end of my stitching here. As you can see, I've got the band sewn all the way around the brim, and this is my last little tail here. I'm just going to continue sewing all the way down to the very, very end of this tie. Back stitch, and done. Okay, and that's really, honestly, that's about it. You can finish the seams along here by just running a zigzag stitch over the edge. You don't have to, but you know, if you do, it might make the hats last a little bit longer. And again, you can sew over the ends of the ties, but in this case, because we use the width of the fabric and this is the selvage edge here, it's actually not going to come unfrayed because the selvage won't fray. So yeah, so then when you're done with this, I like to just press this little tie piece so that it's kind of facing the right direction. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could make it look super cute and like do a little top stitch along here to keep the band flat. But really, you know, that's really it. Once you're done, your hat is ready to be worn by the grateful medical professionals of Forsyth County.